What's up, Yankees Nation? Bringing you an exclusive and sharp analysis of the hottest, most intense storyline right now. Giancarlo Stanton's future in the Bronx. What used to be just another injury in Stanton's long medical file has now turned into something deeper, more concerning, and honestly way more decisive for the present and future of our Yankees. Since he first landed in New York back in 2017, coming over from the Miami Marlins as the reigning National League MVP and one of the most feared hitters in all of baseball, Giancarlo wasn't just a blockbuster acquisition. He was the promise of a new chapter, maybe even the dawn of a new dynasty. A beast at the plate, the symbol of the explosive offense Brian Cashman was building with precision. Who could ever forget that 2018 home run, the fastest ever recorded by StatCast 122. 1 mph, that's 196.5 km/h for those keeping score, just ridiculous. But with those flashes of brilliance came the shadows, injuries, setbacks, and way too many stints on the IL. And now here we are in the middle of the 2025 season, and the story's taken yet another turn, and it's not a happy one. Over the weekend during the Subway Series against the Mets, while the Yankees were taking the series 2-1 and the vibes were electric, behind the scenes, reality hit hard. Brian Hawk, a trusted MLB.com insider, reported on his X account, formerly known as Twitter, that Stanton currently has no timetable for return. Aaron Boone, always straight up, left no room for misinterpretation. He's not even ready to begin rehab. The reason? Bilateral elbow tendonitis. Yup, you heard that right. Not just one elbow, both. Stanton's body, once again, has become his biggest obstacle to getting back on the field. And what makes this all the more terrifying? It's the repetition. We've been through muscle strains, leg issues, a shoulder problem, Achilles trouble, and now the elbows. Meanwhile, this Yankees roster, man, is not just holding up without him, it's clicking like we haven't seen in years. Ben Rice, a second-year guy who originally seemed like a complimentary piece, has now stepped into the designated hitter role and is doing it with confidence. The kid's holding his own. 250 batting average, 35 hits, 26 RBIs, and 9 homers in just 140 at-bats. Not jaw-dropping numbers, but solid. And more importantly, Ben Rice is reliable and available. Two things, let's be real, that Stanton hasn't been able to give this team. On the flip side, Cody Bellinger is straight up balling. Last Sunday, he smoked a decisive grand slam against the Mets, showing that he's not just here for the vibes, he can carry the squad when it matters most. And Aaron Judge, our captain, is straight up having a historic season, batting .401. That's right, .401. Feels like a video game stat, but it's real life. With these three, Rice, Bellinger, and Judge, anchoring the lineup, the Yankees' offense isn't just surviving without Stanton, it's thriving. And here comes the question we all gotta ask ourselves as die-hard fans. Is Giancarlo Stanton even necessary for the Yankees anymore? The team isn't just winning without him, they're winning big. The squad is showing consistency, depth, and adaptability. Three rare qualities that, let's be honest, we haven't seen together in this lineup for a long time. Remember just a few seasons ago, this was a team almost completely dependent on big names like Stanton, Judge, and others, but now the whole mentality shifted. Of course, we can't ignore Stanton's impact when he's healthy. Last season alone, despite the pauses, he still racked up 27 homers, 97 hits, and 72 RBIs. Those numbers don't lie, but they also don't guarantee anything, especially when they're followed by a history of chronic injuries and prolonged time off the field. And that creates no doubt a very real dilemma for the team. Wait for Stanton or move on? Behind the scenes, this standoff is already echoing loudly. Insiders like Zachary Howell from Clutch Points are pointing out that Stanton may no longer have the physical ability to play a full season. A tough realization, but one that's necessary to face. Patience isn't infinite in the Bronx, and baseball doesn't forgive those who wait too long. Still, Aaron Boone's not making any definitive statements. No dates, no timelines. The word of the day seems to be caution. But I'm asking you, for how long? How long can this caution last? The reality is, today's Yankees lineup works without Stanton. The team is confident, locked in, and healthy. If you've been following this whole saga, smash that like button right now, subscribe to the channel, and join this community of die-hard Yankees fans who never miss a beat, living every rumor, every stat, and every comeback as if we were right there inside Yankee Stadium. Now I want to hear from you. Should the Yankees keep waiting on Stanton with all this medical and competitive uncertainty, or have they already found a new path, one that's younger, more reliable, and above all, more efficient? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion could be the true pulse of Yankees Nation. But while Stanton remains out of the spotlight, another dilemma is brewing in the Bronx, and this time, the name in question ain't Stanton, it's Cody Bellinger. This temporary hero might just be packing his bags, not because of poor performance, far from it, but because of an overload of talent around him and some serious contract issues I'm about to break down next in this exclusive analysis. Like I was saying, Yankees fans, while Giancarlo Stanton remains out of the spotlight, the Bronx is heating up with another tension point that might honestly be even more urgent. Cody Bellinger potentially leaving, and here's the kicker. It's not because he's underperforming. Hell no. Bellinger is absolutely raking right now, a key piece in his Yankees surge. But ironically, that success might be exactly why he could be out the door before the season ends. This whole thing really starts with what was a quiet but brutal front office failure. Losing Juan Soto to the New York Mets. No sugarcoating it, this was a gut punch. Soto was supposed to be the next face of the franchise alongside Aaron Judge. A killer duo. An all-time lineup threat that could have carried the Yankees straight to another World Series title. But nah, Soto crossed town and now rocks blue and orange, calling Queens home. Faced with that blow, Brian Cashman pivoted quickly and landed Bellinger, a former MVP, two-time All-Star World Series champ with the Dodgers. A guy with pedigree, experience, and above all, the promise of both offensive stability and solid outfield defense. Sure, he wasn't Soto, but he was the perfect bridge between now and the future. The contract? 3 years, $80 million, but here's the time bomb. The opt-out clause after this season. Bellinger can just walk, no strings attached. No comp picks, no control, nothing. For Cashman, that's a serious problem, and it ain't the only one. While Bellinger is crushing it right now, the future of the team is literally sitting right there on the bench. Jason Dominguez, aka the Martian, the Yankees prodigy, the chosen one who hit the bigs last year, carrying the hopes of the entire franchise on his shoulders. Now, at just 22 years old, Dominguez is splitting time between riding the pine, some left field starts, and occasional DH appearances. His slash line so far: .1, 342, 421. Not bad at all, showing the talent is very real. But what's missing? Time on the field, reps, routine, and he's not getting that as long as Bellinger is holding down his spot. And that brings us to the bold idea making waves. Zachary Howell, once again over at Clutch Points, is pushing the notion that the Yankees should seriously consider trading Bellinger. And the most likely destination? The Atlanta Braves. A squad that, despite a shaky start to the season, has all the pieces to come roaring back into the playoff picture. The Braves are just waiting on Ronald Acuna Jr. and Spencer Strider to get healthy. Once they do, Atlanta's right back to being an NL powerhouse. And Bellinger, with his veteran presence, versatility, and lefty pop, could be exactly the guy to put them over the top. For the Yankees, this would be a strategic and honestly necessary move. First, it immediately clears left field for Jason Dominguez to step in as an everyday starter, gain confidence, and cement his place in the lineup. Second, it lets Cashman cash in, pun intended, on Bellinger's hot start, flipping him for a reliable bullpen arm or even a back-end starter. Two needs that are glaring right now. Zachary Howell's take is blunt. Bellinger makes the most sense as a trade piece right now. Moving him clears the way for the future while avoiding a nightmare scenario of him walking in free agency for nothing. But yo, this dilemma goes way beyond the field. It hits at the culture of the team. Keeping Dominguez on the bench while Bellinger plays out a possible short-term stint sends a dangerous message that there's no room for the future in a team focused only on winning now. And that's a trap the Yankees have fallen into before. Meanwhile, Giancarlo Stanton, still no timetable. Aaron Boone made it crystal clear in his last presser. He's not even ready to start rehabbing. And Ben Rice, The kid's holding it down at DH with a 250 average, 35 hits, 26 RBIs, and 9 bombs. This dude ain't just filling in, he's fighting for a permanent spot. And Aaron Judge? Man, the guy's just on another planet right now. Batting .401, leading the team with power, consistency, and that signature leadership. Straight up, the outfield is stacked. And let's be real, this abundance of talent is starting to feel more like a ticking time bomb than a luxury. The Yankees gotta make a decision now, not in October. If they wait too long, Bellinger's trade value could dip, or worse, he could just walk and leave them with zip in return. Meanwhile, the Braves are lurking, patient, quiet. They know Strider's return gives them a surplus of arms, and they know Bellinger could be the spark to turn them from a 500 team into a legit title contender. For the Yankees, this isn't just an opportunity. It's the key to unlocking roster flexibility, planning for the future, and avoiding the mistakes of the past. Clinging too long to vets while young studs rot on the bench. If you've made it this far, you're clearly feeling the weight of these decisions just like I am. So smash that like button, hit subscribe, and be part of this crew that doesn't just watch baseball. We live and breathe Yankees baseball. Every play, every rumor, every behind the scenes move. And now I gotta hear from you. Should the Yankees trade Bellinger now, capitalizing on his peak value? Or is it worth the risk to keep him for the playoff push, even if it means losing him for nothing later? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your take could be the true pulse of his die-hard fan base. And while Bellinger's potential exit seems like the most pressing issue, another, even more sensitive conversation is starting to gain traction. The future of Anthony Volpe. A transition that's subtle but inevitable. When a team is balancing present and future, every piece has got to be evaluated through a sharper lens. Volpe, at 24, since debuting in 2023, has already become an essential part of the Yankees equation. A shortstop who pops in advanced metrics, 8.2 WAR over 364 games, numbers that'd make plenty of vets jealous. But paradoxically, he still hasn't earned unanimous trust from the fan base. His career OPS, just .672 with a 228 batting average. Those numbers fuel a classic fan debate. The old school eye test crowd says he fails too often, while the analytics driven new gen says, nah, he's contributing. So far, the Yankees have shown patience, giving him time, trust, and support through all the ups and downs. But in a team with real championship aspirations, where every starter's got to deliver immediate impact, the leash for player development is shrinking fast. And here comes the idea. Controversial, sure, but intriguing. A trade involving Anthony Volpe for Ozzie Albies of the Atlanta Braves. So far, no solid rumors, just speculative buzz, but it raises legit questions. Albies, a franchise cornerstone in Atlanta and a 3-time All-Star, is slumping. Just a .225 average on 616 OPS and 0.2 WAR. Way below expectations. For the Braves, making a shakeup could make sense. For the Yankees, moving Volpe would be seen as risky, maybe even reckless. He's under team control through 2028, and frankly, the Yankees don't have the shortstop depth to cover his immediate loss. Oswaldo Cabrera was tested there, but that experiment ended abruptly after a nasty ankle injury. Beyond that, even if the trade went down, it would trigger a domino effect. Albies plays second base exclusively. To fit him, Jazz Chisholm, who's found stability at third since coming over last summer, would have to move again. Chisholm has shortstop experience, but he hasn't played there since 2021. Would he even be willing to go back? Big question. And hovering over all of this is another name representing the Bronx's future. George Lombard Jr., the young prospect currently at AA Somerset. Despite some offensive struggles, just 6 hits in 33 appearances, he's seen internally as the eventual heir at shortstop. Trading Volpe would open that door prematurely, maybe too soon, but with real potential. The thought of seeing Albies in pinstripes is tempting. His charisma, versatility, and team-friendly contract provide future flexibility, but the immediate cost, brutal. Volpe is still a developing cornerstone. Even if his bat hasn't lit up, his quiet impact on wins is real. He only trails. Judging WWR among Yankees hitters this season, that can't be ignored. The conclusion for now, It's clear this convo stays on the table, but not while the season's still alive. If the Yankees and Braves find themselves at the negotiating table during the winter meetings, though, all bets are off. Because one thing's certain in New York, time waits for no one, and every decision carries the weight of decades, either adding to our glory or becoming another chapter of heartbreak. In my next video, we're diving into the full winter meetings landscape, breaking down who else could hit the Yankees' radar if moves like this become real. So make sure you're subscribed, smash that notification bell, and of course, drop a comment below. Would you trade Anthony Volpe for Ozzie Albies? Or do you still believe the Bronx's future rides with Volpe's quiet talent? Stay locked in. This story's still being written, and it could flip the script at any moment